just want to acknowledge this is my first time, so in the spirit of first times, please be gentle with me.
Welcome.
Minister, I refer to my letter dated to you on the 1st of July 2025, to which I still haven't received a reply. The letter is about the referral decision of not a controlled action for the marine survey of the Bunbury Continental Shelf. I have the letter here to be tabled if necessary. Thank you.
If that's the case, I apologise that we haven't replied to you yet, or that I haven't replied to you yet.
That's okay. So in the letter, I asked you to review whether it's not a controlled action. Do you agree my letter dated the 1st of July was within the time frame for requesting a review?
I'll need to get some assistance from the officials on that, Senator.
Senator Kylie Calhoun, Branch Head for Environmental Regulation Division. Can you please repeat the question? Sorry.
Do you agree my letter dated the 1st of July is within the time frame for requesting a review?
Senator, it might be helpful if you repeat what project assessment process you're referring to again for my officers.
Okay, so it was the referral decision of whether it's not a controlled action for the marine survey of the Bunbury Continental Shelf.
Yeah, so that was not a controlled action decision.
Yes.
It was referred and determined that there was no impact and therefore not a controlled action based on the action that are undertaken.
So my question was, did you receive my letter within the time frame for requesting a review?
I am not aware of that letter. I don't recall seeing it, but I can...
Sorry, my office is trying to track down that letter now, and whether, in fact, we have replied or not. I remember you had an OPD in the Senate on this point, I remember.
Yep.
But so what you're asking, I think, is that you were effectively seeking a review of the decision that it was not a controlled action.
Yes.
And you're asking whether that was your request was made in time to be considered.
Correct.
Okay.
So, Senator Bruce Edwards, Head of Division, Environment Regulation Division. We will look into that letter. I'm not familiar with it as such, but just to clarify, it is open to people at any time to request a reconsideration, so there's no statutory time limit on that. So we'll give it due consideration once we identify.
I understand there was a time limit, but anyway, we'll move on. So I see Mr Calhoun's here. Thank you for being here. On the 9th of July, I submitted the Freedom of Information request for the referral decision brief. The FOI request was refused by yourself on the 8th of August. Ms Calhoun, do you believe there was a conflict of interest in you refusing my FOI application for the referral decision, considering that it was you that made the referral decision as the Minister's delegate?
No, I can consider the matters before me based on the evidence and the legislation under which it's taken, and I don't believe, but yeah.
Okay. So fortunately, after I requested the internal review of the FOI, the refusal decision made by the department, the decision was varied on the 9th of September by Mr Declan O'Connor-Cox, and please pass on my regards to Mr O'Connor-Cox for recognising the need for transparency in the matter of public interest for West Australians. The 1,790 pages released show clear evidence of many significant failings in the decision assessment process and multiple breaches of statutory duties. The application is clearly a misrepresentation and it makes repeated reference to non-invasive survey techniques, which are in fact known to be invasive to marine species. So, Minister, I believe the documentation shows clearly that the not controlled action is unlawful.
Senator, I might better speak to this. So I believe Thursday, Friday last week there was legal representation making the claims that you've just provided to us. We are currently reviewing that documentation, so we've only freshly received that, but we will pay due attention to it.
Is that the letter from... sorry.
I don't have it to hand, unfortunately, Senator, but I do remember it coming in late last week from a legal.
Okay, so you've received that.
We did.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. There. The notice of breach was emailed by Rainforest Reserves Australia. Yep.
That's correct.
Okay. Chair, I'd like to table document 36 from the Freedom of Information, LEX 80629. That's okay.
Thank you. We'll run over that very quickly, Senator Whitten. You've probably got about 10 or 15 seconds left. May I move the call on and then come back to you?
That's fine.
Thank you. Senator Whitten.
Thank you, Chair. I acknowledge that Mr Edwards had received the notice of breach. I'd just like to table that, if I can, Chair. I'm just curious, Minister, are you aware of the receiving the breach?
No, I don't think I normally would. I don't think that would normally come to a minister's attention. Yeah.
Just to clarify, I think I received it was emailed to the Secretary, so the Secretary's office forwarded it to me. And just to, I suppose, to clarify, that's not a notice under legislation, it's a claim of a breach occurring.
So, referring to document 36 that was obtained in the FOI, I've spoken to the Senate about it in the manner in which the department handled the community consultation for the project, and it was pretty disappointing to see in the FOI that this has continued with 40 to 70 of the submissions to the referral being disregarded in the referral process. Now, I believe this is a significant failure of procedural fairness. Ms Colquhoun, can you please tell me how many submissions were recorded as for in time in the for and against column at the end of the page?
Senator, just before Ms Colquhoun answers that, I'm not sure she's got that detail. It wouldn't surprise you to know that most proposals that come to us, most people are against. People really get enlivened when they're not keen on a project. So I would say off the bat, more than 90% of submissions we receive for any project are in opposition to that project. We weigh up all submissions, but we look at their merits in terms of our legislative responsibilities. So being for or against, that's people's rights to do so, but they need to provide substantive evidence that relates to our decision-making responsibilities. I'll just see if Ms Colquhoun has that answer for you.
So just to put it on the record, out of the 100-odd submissions, there was 8 people for it. Now, 40 to 70 of the submissions were disregarded on the basis that they were not about action, yet document 51, signed by yourself, Ms Colquhoun, reads as follows. And what I'm getting to is a lot of the submissions were knocked out and disregarded because they were talking about a wind farm, a wind project in Geographe Bay. Your reason for removing them was that. So the department recommends the grounds for a fee waiver under section 5.21 of the EPBC regulations do not apply for the following reasons. The primary objective of the referral to collect baseline data to inform the placement of offshore wind turbines is not to protect the environment nor to protect and conserve heritage. So on one hand you're saying you're disregarding the submissions because they're not it's not about wind turbines, it's about the scanning of the sonar scanning. Yet here you're saying it is about wind turbines. So can you reconcile the disregarding of the submissions?
I don't have all that evidence in front of me. I'll just have to take that on notice. I also don't have the numbers at the moment in front of me, but I'm happy to take that on notice.
So you'll take that on notice?
Yep.
Because it's a fairly big thing, I would have thought. Yep. Okay. So as outlined on page 9 of the referral decision brief, 34, the potential impacts from the proposed action include elevated underwater noise increasing the risk of displacement, adverse behavioural and physiological changes to threatened and migratory species. Keeping that in mind, I would like to table another document, if that's okay, Chair. All right, so Ms. Colleen, can you tell me why every entry on this list has no recorded in the significant impact column?
So, Senator, perhaps it's useful if I step back a little bit in terms of what our assessment covers. So, at the referral stage, we're essentially doing a screening assessment to determine whether something will have a significant impact, and if it has a significant impact, then it goes through what's called a controlled action, potential for significant impact, and then we'll do a full assessment. So in a referral document, what you'll see is we're looking at all potential significant impacts, and then we're reaching a view on the evidence in our expert knowledge and regulatory experience to determine whether a significant impact is likely.
That's the whole point of my question, is it's a whale superhighway, it's a whale birthing and nursery zone. There's all these different species that are endangered there, yet every single item was put as it's not a significant, no recorded as a significant impact.
So
How can that be possible?
No, I'm happy to explain. So it doesn't mean there's not potential for an impact. What we're saying, we regulate at a degree where there's a significant impact occurring. You'll find marine exploration activities are quite standardised. They have a bunch of protocols around how they deploy technology, what they use, how they minimise and how they mitigate impacts, and that would have all been considered. And then you reach a view based on the information you have in front of you about overall whether you think it's likely to have a significant impact. And what that documentation is saying is the view you reach is that it was unlikely to have a significant impact.
So you stand by the assessment, there will be no significant impact?
It's a legal...
Every case for every endangered species?
No, so Ms Calhoun's considered the matter put to her, and again the documentation put to us we assess against the tests of the Act, and again I understand there's been objections to it. We'll look at those documents and respond accordingly. Okay,
look, I'd just like to raise with that list, if you can please take it on notice, if you can find where the Pygmy Blue Whale is on there, which is an endangered species. But one last question I've been told. So based on all this, do you still believe the decision is not a controlled action?
So, Senator, just to be clear, so there has been a legislative decision made. Ms Calhoun's made that. We're confident that that decision reflects the requirements of the Act. You mentioned Pygmy Blue Whales as a threatened species. We only regulate threatened species, so we've investigated and found that we don't need to undertake a full assessment on the impacts on all the matters that we regulate.
So, given Geographe Bay is a particularly sensitive environmental area, should it be a no-go zone? I'll leave you with that one.
Thank you, Senator Whitton.